I'm skinhead and I'm proud of it.
Man kann aus einfachen Verhältnissen kommen, das muss ja nicht total arm sein, gar nicht oder so, sondern was aus sich machen und so. Das ist auch so diese Motivation schon.
Harten Stil oder dieses Männerklischee zu wahren und eben nicht die Leidenschaft, die dahinter steckt, eben die Musik, das Zusammenfeiern, die Gemeinschaft. Und ich denke, das sind so grundlegend die Voraussetzungen, die uns halt eben von diesem Klischee, das bei uns häufig in den Medien dargestellt wird, unterscheiden. Also es geht eben nicht unbedingt um dieses Auffallen um jeden Preis, um dieses Anderssein, um den Rebellen, sondern tatsächlich um so ein bisschen Herz und Seele, die dahinter stecken, so wie man lebt tatsächlich. Und
Die Sache ist, wenn einmal in der Zeitung oder im Fernsehen was steht, Skinheads haben so und sowas gemacht, dann werden immer neue Geschichten ausgegraben. Es gab zum Beispiel auch mal eine Studie, da gab es eine Zeit lang, wo jede Woche irgendwas über Skinheads in den Nachrichten war, wo aber die Hälfte davon der Sachen im Endeffekt gar nicht gestimmt haben. Da haben sich dann Opfer, haben im Fernsehen gesehen, oh, es sind im Moment viele Skinheads, die Leute zusammenschlagen. Die wurden dann halt zusammengeschlagen und haben gesagt, ja, das waren Skinheads. Und da kam halt raus, im Endeffekt waren sie es gar nicht.
Habe ich durch ausländische Mitbürger sehr wohl auch schon erlebt, ja. Da ist es dann auch egal, ob du jetzt einen Fuck Racism-Button auf der Jacke hast. Die sehen einfach kurze Haare, Stiefel, die halt nicht automatisch für einen potenziellen Nazi, das sind dann Leute, du wirst dann angesprochen, wie entweder, ist mir auch schon passiert, du kommst aus dem Supermarkt, dann kommen dann ältere Herrschaften, die vielleicht den Krieg schon mitgemacht haben, kommen dann, ja, finde ich gut, so neues Deutschland und scheiß Ausländer und so. Und dann gucken die Leute an und sagen, was wollt ihr von mir? So, ich bin keiner von denen irgendwie, die ihr vielleicht meint, so wie ich einer bin und ich trage hier meinen Fuck Racism-Button.
Nur halt, diese ganze Skinhead-Geschichte, das war von Anfang an eine unpolitische Sache. Es war immer schwarz und weiß zusammen. Und es gab halt keine Unterschiede bezüglich Rasse, Religion oder Herkunft, sondern es war halt einfach so, wir haben einen gemeinsamen Background, wir haben die gleichen Probleme, wir haben die gleiche Musik, wir stehen als eine Gruppe da. Und deswegen kann ich auch mal, wenn ich heute einige Nazis sehe, die meinen, sie sind Skinheads, das sind für mich keine Skinheads, sondern sind halt einfach Nazis, weil Skinhead hat nie was mit Recht zu tun, das widerspricht sich als solches.
Perkembangan skinhead di Indonesia sendiri tuh kira-kira berawal tahun 93-94 mungkin ya. 93-94 itu ada seorang kawan, dia namanya Adit, dia kuliah di Singapura ngambil musik. Kemudian setelah pulang dari Singapura, dia pulang tuh ke Indonesia. Adit kemudian bawa tuh satu buku namanya Skinhead Bible, Spirits of 69 yang nulis George Marshall. Dari situ Adit cerita ke teman-temannya, lu udah lihat belum? Ada lagi nih yang kayak gini. namanya Skinhead. Dia tunjukin bukunya.
What is it about this George Marshall book that made you believe in it?
They speak about English British movement, right? British movement, like the youth culture in there. I interesting, like in UK in 1960, everybody using mods, skinheads, something like that. And in here, they don't know everything about it before. This is British, like. British culture, right? And come to Indonesia and skinhead Indonesia, not skinhead in UK, something like that. Yeah, I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of my skin, something like that. Yeah, and if they talking about skinhead must be white, I don't care. The first time I'm a punk. I'm riding skateboard and hang out with some guy in Singapore. I have a crew, a punk crew. They are interesting about skinhead. It's the first time. It's like just fashion. We adopt fashion, like and some music. And then it's become a way of life.
What does it mean to be a skinhead for you, Butai?
That means it's like, I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of my country, but not racist. Right? I'm singing about nation. I'm singing about poor people, something like that. Yeah.
Tell me what your songs mean. What do you sing about?
Yeah, mostly is for my country, and like poor people, like. My song is titled 1999-98. They have a class in Indonesia. They like racist thing in they burn everything. And I talk about it.
Skinhead tuh pendiam, kemudian skinhead tuh working class, skinhead tuh pride, skinhead tuh suka minum, skinhead tuh suka bola, skinhead tuh nongkrong, skinhead tuh brotherhood. Ada beberapa hal yang gua suka, tapi juga ada beberapa hal yang gua nggak suka. Jadi gua setelah gua baca buku itu, akhirnya gua memutuskan untuk mungkin gue ambil yang cocok menurut gue, tapi kemudian gue tinggalin yang menurut gue nggak cocok sama gue. Kurang lebih segitu.
Sampling ini nih, datanya itu dari sini saudara dulu ngambil hari ini. Realis ini kan dia berendah. Gila, makin berantakan nih.
Skinhead versi Indonesia itu sendiri adalah skinhead yang cukup mempunyai ciri khas karena mereka menamakan dirinya gue skinhead dan gue bisa disebut sebagai tradisional skinhead yang mereka menyukai segala macam dan semua spirit tentang skinhead, tapi tidak politik, kemudian tidak rasialis, kemudian tidak melakukan kegiatan yang pro pemerintah ataupun melawan pemerintah. Mereka just pure beer, football, music, and then brotherhood and sisterhood. Dan buat gue yang ngebedain skinhead dari Indonesia ataupun negara lain, bahwa skinhead di Indonesia punya ciri khas bahwa mereka lebih kompromi terhadap budayanya, mereka lebih kompromi karena di Indonesia kan ada tenggang rasa, kemudian di Indonesia kita nggak mungkin jadi rasis. Misalnya kayak gue tinggal di sebuah daerah yang pasar gitu, ibu gue guru, kemudian bapak gue pegawai negeri, ibu gue gurunya juga guru SD yang selalu berhubungan dengan anak-anak kecil. Kemudian gue tinggal di daerah urban yang di sebelah kanan gue orang Padang, di sebelah kiri gue orang Bandung, di belakang gue orang Batak, di depan rumah gue orang Cina. Jadi buat gue skinhead, tapi gue nggak bisa jadi rasialis dan nggak mungkin jadi rasialis. Dan skinhead di Indonesia adalah bukan skinhead rasialis. Skinhead di Indonesia sama dengan skinhead yang ada di Singapura.
There are about 500 to 600 skinheads spread around the main city of Jakarta. Other than coming together at concerts, they would meet in their small groups. Hardy hangs out at this one and only shop in Jakarta that sells skinhead paraphernalia. He is also among the more well-known skinheads because of his band.
This is Remus. Remus is my best friend. Hello. We are in the same year in junior high school. And this is Wiro. Wiro is my brother, and this is Budi. He is my member of the band. He is bass player. This is Bedul. He is my best friend, and this is Wiro girlfriend.
Okay.
Desi.
Hello.
Desi, they plan to get married soon.
Are you all skinheads?
We are not all skinhead. Bedul is punks. Budi is skinhead. Wiro is skinhead. Remus is ordinary people who love design for skinhead and punks. Make the design. Businessman, t-shirt businessman. This t-shirt designed by my friend, and I asked him to make some design for Anti-Squad, to make some merchandise, and then he make the design. We pay the design, and then we asked my friend again to make the printing in 2000, and I feel proud that I'm working very hard that I can even I just get little money, but I'm proud. Like make this t-shirt. Yeah, I feel proud because this is my band, this is my crew, this is my brother's band, and yeah, we feel proud. Like do-it-yourself movement. Yeah.
DIY.
Yeah, DIY do-it-yourself movement, and yeah, we feel proud of it.
Sebenarnya yang membuat gue pride dan benar-benar yakin dan sampai akhirnya kemudian gue menjalani kehidupan ini sebagai skinhead adalah awal pertama kalinya gue bikin tato itu ketika gue udah ngejalanin skinhead. Awal 7 tahun pertama gue ngejalanin di hidup gue sebagai skinhead, dan gue akhirnya memutuskan bikin tato. Dan sejak saat itu gue yakin banget bahwa ya kehadiran tato gue ini salah satu bukti kenapa gue bangga menjadi skinhead. Buat gue jadi skinhead itu adalah skinhead yang bekerja keras, kemudian skinhead yang pantang menyerah, skinhead yang terus tetap berjuang, skinhead yang nggak pernah kenal capek, skinhead yang selalu berbuat kebaikan untuk diri lu, untuk keluarga lu, untuk istri lu, untuk band lu, untuk tongkrongan lu, untuk scene lu, untuk semua hidup lu. Dan gue rasa akan jauh lebih beda ya, karena gue pernah ngebandingin ada orang yang bekerja keras dan dia bukan skinhead, dan ada orang yang bekerja keras dan dia skinhead. Itu kadarnya jauh lebih semangat yang skinheadnya.
When you look different with ordinary people, when you look hang around together and you look different, actually in some part of the city there's a lot of local gang members. When you walk around there, they try to search where you hang out. When they find you, maybe they solve their little member just to look so goofing with you. When you interested, you hit them, you hit him, and the rest of them.
So they're looking for trouble, so to speak.
Yeah, or never start trouble, but every time they try to starting trouble with us, it just getting. We have to be prepared someday. It already it happened in some places, and it getting harder and harder for us until the police came, and we're dealing with police, just like that.
Have you been hurt before in a fight?
A lot. My memory. Yes, my memory.
The scar on your head.
Yes. There's an exhibition at Solo. I was running at Solo at that time. We skinhead and punks in here in Sriwadari Solo, and the rest of them at museum. And the exhibition is here. We take the parking. We take the parking, and they thought that that place used to be that place should be them their place. It make more money than them. And at night, putusan apa ya? People come here and asking for fight. Just like that.
Hari, yourself, have you been hurt?
Yeah, I have been hurt, but not a lot. Because I'm not typical of fighting man. I just try to make a conversation and then make a deal. Why you fight? Like in Bandung, we someday we will have a fight, but I make some discuss and then the fight. No, there's no fight. Yeah, I just thinking about why I have to fight if I can talk. For me, because I think even you are not skinhead, or if you are skinhead, or if even who you are, you don't want to fight. That's right. you don't want to someone hurt your family, someone hurt your girl, something.
What do your parents think about both of you?
I don't know. I don't know.
What does your mom think about, you know, her two sons?
I made this tattoo so that my mom not angry with me.
Oh.
Yes, it's apa
It
tuh?
says, "Love mom."
Hardy's mother has retired after being a teacher for more than 40 years. These days, she spends much of her spare time teaching the children in the neighborhood. They can't afford to go to school, and she does it for free. Of her 4 children, only Wiro doesn't stay with her, and she hasn't seen him for a long time.
Life journey, okay.
Of her mother.
Of a mother, I see.
She has kept a diary documenting every milestone in her life. This is the first time that she has shown it to anyone, including her husband and children.
Where? Which one is Ibu? Ibu? Ibu mana?
Ini.
Ibu ini. Halo, assalamualaikum.
Pernah menulis tentang anaknya di situ.
Anak udah belum selesai ya, masa depan anak saya itu baik, anak saya mau sholat sehari 5 kali, ya anak soleh dan solehah.
Masih bangga dengan keempat anaknya ini, Ibu ya.
Alhamdulillah.
Because Hardy is a very good photographer, working for World Press.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you what about?
That's it. That's his choice.
That's his choice.
Yeah. And we as parents just support from behind.
Did you want him to be something else? Did you want him to do something else apart from being a photographer?
Yeah, I think Hardy should be to photograph something positive. Yeah. The process and the result should be positive. Don't be something negative and get negative point from the society.
Married in 1970.
Hardy's father is a retired civil servant. He was away for more than 10 years, leaving his wife to take care of the 4 children.
Tapi anaknya itu kan waktunya terbatas. Kadang-kadang kalau saya dekat, kamu bicara sama ibu bisa berapa menit.
Hardy's father obviously has reservations about both his sons being skinheads. Some of the skinhead lifestyle practices, such as having tattoos and drinking alcohol, are disallowed in the Islamic religion. As Muslims, parents are obligated to guide their children to stay away from forbidden practices. This is probably the first time that they have let their feelings out in this way.
Ini Hadi. Hadi makan ini.
So you're the healthiest baby.
Ini rumah ini bersejarah nih, hari pertama kali datang sini di rumahnya ini.
So this is Hadi? Hadi?
Belum ada, belum lahir.
Oh yeah.
Nih, ini Hadi ini.
Oh, Hadi, look exactly. The face is exactly the same. Same. Mark, can you just tell us how you feel, about Hadi being a skinhead?
I think Hadi is the second phase of being a skinhead forward. The first is his brother, Wira.
Yeah.
At that time, I don't know what skinhead, but what I know is punk. Punk. And I read about skinhead or punk. I saw it's something imitated from overseas. The name, how they behave, how they using hair or wearing, and I think it's not good. But finally, I see Hati house, how Hati try to latihan
Rehearsal.
Yeah, to rehearsal and show in Jogja, Bandung, and I come to a conclusion that skinhead has something continuum from the very hard to the something
Not so
soft,
yes.
and not just imitate those from I told Hati, okay, skinhead, but don't be very hard. Don't be what I said, anti-social, anti-establishment.
What did you think of your father's
For me, not okay. Since I know what I'm doing,
and you do endorse violence?
yeah, like I said, I think I'm one of the students that doesn't like violence, because I prefer to take picture. I prefer to story.
You also work very hard.
Yeah, so.
I made this tattoo so that my mom not angry with me. It says, "Love Mom."
Wiro not only has a tattoo to express his love for his mother, he has also told Hadi that heaven is at a mother's feet. He is a rebel who loves Mum.
Yeah, I believe that mother is that heaven is under my mother's feet.
Do you believe that?
Yeah, of course.
Do you believe that?
Yeah.
Anak-anaknya besar.
Wiro, sebandel-bandelnya tuh apa ya?
How bad Wiro is.
How bad Wiro is, if I told, hey, you don't do like this, you will hurt mom's heart. Oh, okay. And I always try to remember again, because sometimes he only hear me. Sometimes.
He only listen to you.
Yeah.
So like yesterday, he like that. You just.
Yeah, always.
But you just tell him,
It's very-
"Mom is hurt," and he will back off.
It's very hard to tell Wiro, hey, don't fight. It's very hard because in a gig we going together and he's fight and hey, please don't do that.
Because mom is hurt.
Yeah.
Then you stop.
Then he stop.
Ibu, apa yang Ibu rasakan kalau Adi jadi skinhead?
Takut saya.
What she's scared about?
Takut kenapa Ibu?
Takut pertama daripada dia nggak sholat.
Yeah, I think I'm still believe yes, even I'm not good. Even I'm not doing it 5 times, but yeah, as bad I am, I'm still believe that I know who create this. I know I'm still trying to do now, but sometimes what for I can't, but I'm trying to do. But I know this is wrong, but I know. I mean, not the skinhead is wrong, but yeah, I know I'm not doing 5 times. It's wrong. But I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to be a good man. I'm trying to be a good man because I see a lot of people and a lot of culture from photography, and I think it's make me more white. But after married, yeah, it's my promise to be good.
But don't be don't forget that you are Muslim. So when his show and the concert and the praying time come, yes, now stop, break for a moment to pray. Yes, what?
Maybe because I don't have a lot of time in house here. But sometimes I bring sarung everywhere. Because I don't have, because of working, I have a deadline very fast. Everything is moving. Just come to house and then get good clothes, going again, and sleeping only 5 hours a day. Every day is working, 90% my life is working.
Oi music is a working class protest, you know. It's a working man's desire to voice out in the world, but they cannot voice out outside, you know. We record. Usually Oi music, like for me, my band, I write songs about that. Coincides with my life, you know, songs about my friends. You know, sometimes, like you see, what do you be a skinhead for? You know, it's my life. I choose this path. I want to be in that path. It's my way of life. So don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to wear. Those type of music. They're usually about friendship, how friendship turns sour, about brotherhood.
Through their music, the skinheads articulate their innermost feelings about the people in their life.
I write a song about my dad, who really fucked things up with me because I'm a skinhead, no? Since I was a kid. I wrote this song about him. Its title is Heart of Steel. Heart of Steel. He's got a heart of steel, no? Because he can't accept me as who I am. I fall out with my father a few years back. Until now.
Until now?
Yeah. Until
now. Okay.
No.
Buat gue, skinhead tuh berkembang berdasarkan dari situasi keadaan sosial politik sebuah negara. Kemudian skinhead itu juga pasti ada di berbagai di setiap negara, bahkan negara Muslim sekalipun ada skinhead, kayak di Malaysia, kemudian di beberapa negara Muslim yang lain juga ada skinhead.
We're actually like normal human being, but only we are in a group and we all have the same haircut. See?
Javanese and half Portuguese.
I'm Indian. A little bit Middle Eastern. Yeah, I'm same with you, Indian.
Yeah, I'm Indian. Ni kira budak lighting lah kira.
I'm a fucking pure Malay.
I'm half Chinese, half Malay.
I'm a Javanese.
Same for me, I'm the Javanese.
For this group of skinheads in Singapore, it started when 3 of them were teenagers.
I was in the same school as Rosman and Black here. We were all in the same school. And then it was actually Black who started shaving his head, no? And one day we disturbed him out. We just call him names and say, what the fuck happened to your hair? No, you have very nice hairstyle. He say, no, I watched this movie, you know. That time it was Romper Stomper, so Australian Nazis movie. He say the skinheads, no, they look real nice, fucking dress up, fucking fierce. And he say, then he let us watch the movie at his house. And the next day, all of us, the 3 of us, we shave our heads.
How old are you?
I was in Sec 2, I think 16. I was really pretty good at school. No trouble. That's how it started actually. But then we didn't follow the movies, you know, because the movies they just mix everything up. Put us as really racist. So we really studied on the internet about what is this skinhead movement, where did it all started. So that's why we get our information from the internet, from the books. There are a lot of books about skinheads. The true skinhead is first of all, he's not racist. He doesn't care about the color of his friends or the outside world, no? The second is he's working class, work for his money, support his family, support his mom, his dad. don't bring them any trouble. And third of all, it's a brotherhood. He share with his fellow skinheads. No fighting with your own skinheads. Even if it's about a girl, you don't fight with your own brothers. That's the three important things.
Or you fight with other people when you're provoked?
Yeah. Actually, we went to prison a few times. I was in 98. We just came out.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? For fighting?
For rioting.
We still know our path, you know. We still, even though we drink, Muslim don't, you know, how to say, we're supposed to avoid drinking, getting drunk.
We remember our roots, whether we drink or we're having sex, but we still remember that we are Muslim, you know. And that's the most important.
Before we
you
do
know
this,
who
we
you
still
are.
think, we still know that, you know, what we are doing is wrong, but not everyone is perfect. You know, sometimes you see people wearing the Muslim songkok, but they talk about others behind their back, you know. We don't. We just straight away tell them that we hate you, fuck you, we hate you. That's it.
Despite the obvious clash between their religion and their skinhead lifestyle, Hardy is very clear about his identity and what he wants in life.
Gue sebenarnya punya 3 kehidupan nih, kehidupan sebagai skinhead dan kehidupan band, kemudian kehidupan gue sebagai anak di rumah dan kehidupan gue sebagai profesional kerja di dunia kerjaan gue.
Muslim is Muslim, skinhead is skinhead. Especially in Indonesia, I think it's different, and we cannot, you know, it's different. It's different. So I'm Muslim, I born as a Muslim, and then I become skinhead. Yeah, I'm skinhead and Muslim.
Hardy has found someone to share his life with. Already she has an influence on his skinhead lifestyle. Because she had asked him not to shave his head. She knows about his tattoo and is fine with it. The couple is in the midst of preparing for their upcoming wedding. Hardy now has an additional role, that of a husband, to add to all the other compartments in his life.
For me, my God is my religion, is Allah, as a Muslim. And for me, skinhead is my way of life, the other way of life. Beside Muslim, I mean, now I learn photography. Yeah, I have a way of life in photography, so I have to separate my life as a skinhead, as a Muslim, as a photographer, and we work together.
Would you recommend this skinhead culture to the younger generations?
No, they know it by themselves.
By themselves? You don't?
For me personally, I don't want to be doctrinate people. Let them know, because this subculture movement is an adaptation of the youth movement already there.
If they know, they know. If they don't know, they don't know. If they don't care, they don't care. But I have a different part of life. I working. I become skinhead. I become a son. husband or husband. So
a Muslim or Muslim?
Yeah, a Muslim is a Muslim. I don't really care about, hey, you have to become skinhead. No, no. Even I never tell to my friend that I'm skinhead. I never tell. If they know, yeah, just they know. I'm glad to have a family. It's not be hard if I have son like me or you.
How many sons, how many children do you plan to have?
I don't know, but I think it's enough. Just want to make a small business in bakery, and then small business in t-shirt printing, and then small business in photography, and then have children, and then have a small house. Yeah, that's all enough.